Okay, I'm in the basement here of one of our newest rentals, which is a little bit different situation for us because this is the first time we're really trying a short-term rental through Airbnb, VRBO, that kind of stuff. So a little bit of a vacation rental. It's just kind of outside, a few miles outside the beach. And we're setting this place up, and it's a totally different experience because obviously all of our other places are standard rental units with long-term tenants. So I've always wanted to try the short-term rental market, and this is our first chance to give it a shot. So we've been busy furnishing it, getting it set up, automated, all that kind of fun stuff. And I wanted to walk you through the one thing I'm going to install today, which is actually this Moen Flo, it's called, and it's an automatic water shutoff. So not only does this allow us to shut the water on and off remotely because we live about 2 hours away from this house, but it also monitors the water flow constantly. And if it notices a large deviation from how much water is being used, it's going to go ahead and assume that that's a leak, and it's going to actually shut your water off and send you a notification to do that. So we were thinking about installing this anyway, but then when we got our short-term rental insurance, which is a little bit different because of the nature of the business and the people coming in and out of the house, they actually gave us a pretty decent credit if we could prove that we installed an automatic water shutoff. So went ahead and picked this up. Usually runs, for the 3/4 inch version here, usually runs $4.99. Right around Christmas in December, I saw it must have been Moen running a special because of all of the sites, Lowe's, Home Depot, and Amazon. It was actually $3.99. So a little pricey, but we're getting the rebate on the home insurance and the peace of mind to know that not only will it shut off by itself, but I can also remotely do it. Because anytime we'd leave the house and it'd be vacant for a week or two, we'd manually shut the water off anyway. But, you need to remember to do that. I'm relying on 3/4 inch CPVC ball valve here that's probably being used more than, I don't want to say it's designed to, but, that's obviously a weak point in the system, and it's our last point of entry before the water main. So having this automatic shut off is going to allow us to not forget, first of all, if we leave. I can always just shut it off on my phone. And then if I do leave it on and there is a problem, I'm going to hope that this thing takes care of it. So I'm going to show you the finished product here. I'm not going to cover the actual plumbing part of it, but we're just going to focus on the implementation, the setup, and then hopefully in the future here, I'll update you on how well it's been hopefully working, and I don't expect any problems with it, but we'll let you know. Straightforward in the box. What you have here is the unit itself. This is what's going to go ahead and get installed right onto the main line after your main shutoff and after your water meter and pressure reducing valve, if you do have one. A couple of brass couplings there to connect to our line. There's the power unit. They give you an extra kind of extension piece here if you needed to get farther away from a meter or something like that. So we're not going to need this, but that's nice to have. And then also a hex wrench for manual shut off, and then your instructions, and that's it. That's all that's in the box. All right, there she is. Install went pretty straightforward. The unit comes on both ends with a female threaded adapter. So you're just going to need to pick up threaded male adapters to connect to whatever pipe your water main is. And they make the flow unit in a 3/4 inch and a 1 inch, and I think an 1.25 inch, and they get substantially more expensive there. This is a 3/4 inch main, so I bought the 3/4 inch unit, 3/4 inch male fittings to go on either side of my CPVC water main in this case, and we're good to go. It does have a power adapter, obviously, because it connects to Wi-Fi and operates automatically, so you're going to need a receptacle close by to power the unit. They also sell a 25-foot extension cable if your receptacle isn't quite as close. There's a link to that in the description. Got this all strapped up, wires out of the way. I was a little surprised that the power unit here. Doesn't have any mounting holes or something that you could attach it to the wall or easily strap it to the pipe, but I think it looks okay there. I got some zip ties up there, keep it out of the way and secure. And I'm gonna go ahead and download the app and pull up the desktop version, get this guy online, and walk you through all the stuff that you can do remotely and set up and water tracking and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I've had the Flo set up actually for about a week now. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of things you can do to it, both on the computer and on the app for your smartphone. And I'll say already so far, I'm pretty psyched about this thing, and I'm pretty certain I'm going to be putting one in my primary home too, because it's pretty cool and it's definitely a lot of peace of mind here. So first thing I'll show you here is the web interface, and this is just on a website. You log in with your information, and I'm actually a couple hours away from this rental home right now. So I'm pulling up all this stuff about 2 hours away from the house. So you can do this anywhere that you have an internet connection. Right here on the main page, it's going to update your pressure coming into the house consistently. So right now we're hovering around 57 PSI. Also gives you your flow, and that's a real-time flow. So if I were to turn, or someone was to turn a faucet or shower or anything on, you would see that change immediately. And then the temperature right here actually is a little bit misleading. It seems that Moen used to include the actual temperature of the water, because there is a temperature sensor in the Flo unit that'll alert you if it's about to freeze. They took that feature away because people were calling them, kind of freaking out a little bit for a couple different reasons. One, some people had their main shut off outside, down south or whatnot, and the sun was beating on it, and they were getting readings at that spot of 200 degrees, and people were concerned that their water coming out of their faucet in their house was actually that warm, which it wasn't, but it was right at that point. And the other one was they realized that it's not necessarily a perfect indicator of freezing pipes, because even though your water temperature coming in is important to know, you could have water that's much colder somewhere else in the house. So they took that feature away. It still does monitor it, but it doesn't show it to you here. So this temperature right here is actually the area temperature. So I'm assuming they pull that from online data, because there was no other temperature sensor that I hooked up outside the house or anything. Now the pressure, I'll go back to that real quick, because then we can also go over to usage, and we're going to get a lot of cool data here. We can look at consumption, and this is by week, last 24 hours, the last month, the last 12 months. We can look at any of that, or just the current day. It'll show hourly. I'll go back to this week. This shows we were down at the house on Saturday and Sunday, and a portion of Monday we left. So you can see that we were using water while we were there, and it gives us the total number of gallons that were used, and it compares it to the same day the week prior. And then we left, and you can see here on Tuesday, Wednesday, no one was at the house. The unit was still on, but we were actually using about a little under a gallon of water. So that is an indicator of a leak, and we'll show you that in 1 second. So that's real nice. And then we can hit vital measurements here, and this gives us a bar graph of our pressure across a certain number of time. Again, this is the week. I could look at 12 months, but this unit has only been installed for a week. Take a look at that. Or actually, our pressure dropped a little bit on Tuesday, so that's something to keep an eye on. We should be hovering right around here about the 60. Now, why I really, really like the pressure, and this is why I definitely want one for my own house, and I'm seriously considering putting them in all of my rentals. Pressure can cause a lot of problems. I had a rental property that when we went in to rehab it, the pressure reducing valve at the main had broken, and we were actually getting pressure in the house of 150 and up PSI, just because of where we were located in relation to the water tower, which is very dangerous and tends to put undue stress on a lot of old joints. It can make pressure relief valves leak when they shouldn't be. It's just, you should not be that high pressure. So that's a really nice thing to keep track of. I will know if our pressure changes either too high or if it drops too low, obviously another issue. That's all the data that you can mine from it, which is just from a geek point of view, pretty cool and nice to look at. Let's go back to the actual function of it, which is to remotely turn off. And the second one was to rely on it to turn itself off if it notices a major leak, okay? Up here at mode, you see home, away, and sleep, and it's currently on sleep. And it's on sleep right now because it's still in learning mode, and it's trying to get a feel for how much water is used on a normal day, when we're home, when we're not there, all that. Okay, here are the modes that you can set it to, and we have home, away, and sleep. So home mode is once the system learns about your habits and everything, and it's monitoring everything. This is what you would use on a normal basis if you live in the home. And it gives you some options here about what's going to happen. If it notices anything deviating from that as far as water usage, it's going to automatically shut your water off, give you an alert. You can set it to text you, email you, call you, alert you on your phone. All those options are available. Now, if you go away, you switch to away mode, and what that does is you're letting Flo know that you're using less water than you normally would when you're home. So it's going to be more sensitive to water usage. If you're not there and no one's at your home, this is a good option because you wouldn't expect any water to be used unless you had an automatic sprinkler system set up, say. So that's away. Sleep mode is what's going to allow us to not have to worry about Flo turning off the water when there's a lot of people in the house. And they give you an option, examples right here, that if you're washing your car, filling the pool, or entertaining a large party with lots of guests, set it to sleep mode, and you're gonna tell Flo, do not shut my water off, regardless of how much water is used. So it's currently on sleep. If you go down here, this is our daily usage. And it's also going to give us eventually, it's going to start learning the different fixtures and how much water each of them uses. Now, as it says right here, it needs a couple weeks of usage data before they're able to do this. Since this is a short-term rental, I'm not expecting this to be very accurate. If I do install this on my own home, I'd like to update this video with this information because it would be much more useful. But it's a short-term rental. It's going to be used a couple days a week, and then it's going to sit for a couple days a week. And then it'll be used again, and it's going to sit. So the one concern I had with this unit is that I read that sometimes it can be tricked into thinking there's a leak when there isn't because someone takes a longer shower than normal, or they turn the hose on outside, or anything like that. So my concern on the short-term rental was, if there's 4 people staying at the house versus 12 people staying at the house, is this unit going to shut the water off when the 12 people are there taking 12 showers because it thinks that too much water is being used? But here's why it's not going to be a problem. All we have to do is hit that sleep mode, and in sleep mode, it will not turn off your water automatically based on usage. Okay, so as you noticed already, even though it hasn't shut my water off, it is starting to learn the house, and it did already give me an alert of a small drip. And you can set your leak detection. I currently have it set to the most sensitive. You can drop this back if you only want to know about big drips. But just to get a feel for the house and make sure that we're not wasting any water, I set it to the most sensitive. And again, it's noticing that there is a small leak, which is why our daily usage is currently hovering just under a gallon per day, even though no one's in the house.
Okay, so I wanted to show you how it reports a drip like this when it's detected. I have the app pulled up here, and you can see that I have a small drip that's been detected every day. And when I tap on it, it's going to give me some information and also allow me to troubleshoot it. So it gives me some tips I can use to find the drip. I can actually connect with a live support to try to find out where this drip is coming from. Now, the way it determines this is through its health test, which is in the middle of the night, it's going to shut the water off, and it's going to monitor the pressure on the system. And if there's any loss of pressure, that's what indicates it that there is a drip. So in this case, I have a 9.2% pressure loss, and it's calculating that I could be losing up to 5 gallons of water per day because of this.
I'm pretty sure we were aware that there was a bathroom fixture that had a small drip, so I'm guessing that's what it is, but I'll be able to verify that we do fix it by looking at this data and seeing that we're wasting zero water basically when the house is vacant. That all aside, this little button right here, all you have to do is click off. It's going to confirm with you that yes, you want Flo to turn your water off, or no, you don't. And if we hit yes there, that little knob will turn and the water will be shut off to the whole house. So if we're concerned and no one's in the house, we can shut that off and just make sure it's off. Otherwise, we just let it do its thing. It'll alert me if it notices any adjustment in flow, and we go from there. Okay, the app works pretty similar to the webpage, just a different format. You can access all the same options, all the same data. A couple different ways to turn flow off. You can go ahead and click this button up here or this slider. Same thing. And then also view your usage, view your pressure, all the same information that you can on the webpage, just in your pocket off of your smartphone. So pretty much all the same info. I won't go over it too much more than I already have, but just know that both the app and the webpage, I haven't found any differences as far as what you can or can't do on either one. Okay, so I hope this video helped you out. If you're thinking about putting the Moen Flo system in your house or rental property or anything like that, I'll certainly update with a new video as I find out any more information and we get some time under our belt using this. If you want to support me and my channel, I'm trying to build some videos and working hard to get a bunch of new videos up for 2021. So please give a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave me your comments, good or bad, and below. And if you're interested in purchasing the Flo unit, I do have a link below through my Amazon page to the best price. Right now, Lowe's is selling it as of the time of this video for $100 more than the Amazon price. So if you want to support my page, click through the link below, purchase the unit. Let me know how you guys like it. Thanks a lot.